Mesdames, Messieurs, un tonnerre d'applaudissements.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the great singer Amélie.
Un double tonnerre d'applaudissements.
And a big round of applause for Judith, our digital artist, and Mathieu, our musician DJ.
Et nous avons beaucoup de chance.
We're very lucky because they'll be with us throughout the evening for musical and visual interludes. Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone, for the OVHcloud Summit 2023. Welcome to you in the room and those of you online from the whole world. I'm Marjorie Bayon, a journalist specialized in the digital world and other things. I'm delighted to be here with you to talk about innovation and the future. We're together for our keynote presentation with the motto, Shaping the Future of the Cloud. This is what we'll be doing, meeting with the OVHcloud experts as well as guests who will be sharing with us their vision of the cloud of the future. This afternoon, you took part in breakout sessions. Let's thank the speakers such as Fanny Bouton, who took you into deep dives into several topics.
Et puis, tant qu'on est au bras.
And congratulations to you. I think there are more of 1,000 of you attending the sessions, so you can put your hands together for yourselves. And let's put our hands together to warmly launch the OVHcloud Summit 2023 and welcome the founder, Octave, Klaba, Judith, and Mathieu. Octave is a musician. He is a music nut. Welcome him warmly.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Hello, hello. I am very happy to see you today for our 10th OVHcloud Summit. In 2013, at our first OVHcloud Summit, less than 40% of people on Earth had access to the internet. And now, 10 years later, we're approaching 65%. Amazing. And 10 years later, I have more wrinkles, I've put on a few pounds, but I'm still in the cloud. I'm still in the digital world. And digital technology is transforming our lives. With digitization as the word, the cloud has become the foundation of this new world. Everyone now understands just how central the role of data is to our new economy. And you should never have to choose between innovation and your data privacy, control of your data. At OVHcloud, we are working to offer you both because we believe that you cannot go digital without trust. Every day, I see three types of companies: those who are our customers, those who want to become our customers, and those who don't believe in our values, in our commitments. So to those, I'd like to remind you of where I come from. I was born in the former Soviet bloc in communist Poland, and since the age of 15, I've been living in France, a capitalist country par excellence. This has allowed me to see firsthand how these two totally different systems organize society. So when I set up OVH in 1999, it was obvious to me that the tensions, the frictions, the crises we experienced over the last century were not going to go away, but just take on a new form. This is why at OVH, in addition to innovation, we speak about values: openness, reversibility, trust, collaboration, responsibility. Innovation must give you freedom, choice, and sovereignty. This is why at OVH we say innovation for freedom. Every time we have the opportunity to talk, I can sum it up in three questions. Octave, when are you going to come up with this product? When are you in that country? And when are you going to get this or that certification? Three simple, pragmatic questions, okay? Let me answer those questions. Let's start with the products. Later, Thierry is going to tell us about our roadmap for our products. I'm going to talk to you about the public cloud's roadmap. 2 years ago, we went to the market and we became a public company, and we raised funds to develop products grouped in 8 services: security, computing, storage, databases, network services, analytics, and of course AI. 8 services, 40 products. Many of these 40 products are already in production, at least in their 1.0 version, and more are on the way. And let me talk about a product that'll be coming soon: analytics, big data. OVHcloud Data Platform is a solution that allows you to manage data end-to-end and conduct analytics. It's a low-code platform that lets you do everything big data does. Interconnect with your data sources, structure information using your internal repository, and store all this information in a huge high-performance data lakehouse. But unlike solutions like Snowflake or Databricks, the magic of the OVHcloud Data Platform is that it allows your business analysts, your data scientists, to start a new project in just a few clicks by selecting the information they need in the data lakehouse. And then they can transform it, group it, apply machine learning algorithms to it, and visualize results. OVHcloud Data Platform is available in its beta version. And I'd be curious to have your impressions, your feedback on this new platform, which is going to be released soon. AI, artificial intelligence, is by far the buzzword of the year. If you use the word AI in your presentations, you'll earn 5 points on your grade. Joking aside, it's obvious that AI is really going to impact our lives, for better or for worse, probably both. It's going to change everything. And in companies, you're looking to include AI to boost your productivity. So the three questions come up quickly. Which AI technology? What about the data I'm using? Is it really cost-effective or profitable? At OVH, we work on democratizing AI, making it available to everyone, and simple, affordable. This is why we're developing a platform of applications. We called it the AI App Builder. Instead of speaking about technology, it allows us to talk about uses. What is your business issue? And we work with that. It also solves data privacy issues. The data is yours. Of course, you need it to personalize your AI, but you're the only one with access to the data. And the cost is predictive. You know quickly whether what you're doing is profitable or not, cost-effective or not. This whole AI and app platform will be offered on a marketplace, as a marketplace. So, of course, we'll develop certain apps for us at OVHcloud, and then we will make them available on the platform. And we also hope that you will look at the platform, see how it works, and develop applications you'll want to share with other users. That's all I want to say for now. Later, you will see a demo of an application. Second topic we discussed, data centers worldwide. All our products are software at scale running on hardware in the data center. We have 4 types of data centers at OVH. There are many regions with AZs, availability zones. You're going to know a region with 3 AZs. The first one is Paris, France. We also have Area Sync New Cloud. You will soon know 150 local zones, LZs. In a few minutes, we're going to say more. I want to talk to you about a 5th data center the one I'm interested in, yours, if you have one. That's the one I want to know about. And I want to talk about on-premise. Some of you are talking about cloud exit, probably because about rising costs or predictable costs. Others think that the cloud is not just going to be public or private or in your data centers. You're asking us for a hybrid cloud, one capable of using the resources of several public clouds, several private clouds, and several of your data centers. Of course, this implies interconnecting these networks, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The issue is in your data centers. That's where you have the freshest data, the most sensitive data. Some of you developed a catalog of some 10 public cloud products that are up and running. When speaking of AI or big data, when we talk to you, we realize there's a glass ceiling. There are several things. In AI and analytics, it's not just a product on hardware. It's several technology bricks running together that should work, that should operate as a solution. So you need experts, time, money, and the quality is not always what you'd like it to be. Earlier, I mentioned the 40 public cloud products that we're currently developing and will soon be available in our 4 types of data centers. Quickly, we'll be able to deploy these 40 products for you in your data centers, wherever you are in the world. You don't need CapEx. You don't need to hire experts. You don't have to worry about data privacy. From one rack, hardware, software included, OVH deploys and operates the 40 products on your premise. And the cherry on the cake, there's one, perhaps two, is that if you have employees in your data centers, you can keep them and operate those clouds, those 40 products in your data centers. You can do what you want. You can choose when to take over the software and say, I'm going to get my updates when I want to. And you can also develop your own products on the platform and make them available for your people. All of this will be possible because the platform with the 40 project is going to be open source. Everyone will be able to use the technology, and we hope the ecosystem will grow beyond the 40 products we offer to 100 or 200. OVH wants to help you modernize your data centers and deploy our 40 public cloud products that are accessible with one API, Terraform. In early 2024, we're going to be deploying an alpha version in a customer's data center. If you're interested in beta versions, get in touch with me. I'd like to understand and go further in the cloud. Third topic we often address is certification. All our products are ISO 27000 certified. This is the default standard for IT security. The standard meets a lot of issues, different industries, media, commerce, manufacturing. And OVHcloud strives to be the leader in 2 of the most highly regulated sectors. I'm talking about healthcare data and public sector data. Let's start with healthcare. In France, HGS is the standard used to host healthcare data. And this HGS standard is going to be strengthened in the years to come. Why? Because we need to have a contract of trust. We need to have trust with the patients to use their private data. What do we do with patients' data? We improve healthcare by using certain drugs. We develop drugs faster. We know what the real cost of healthcare and medications is. We need to do all this. And it cannot happen without trust on how we use the data, without trust as to health data. So this is why lawmakers are going to further secure or strengthen HGS. All our products are HGS certified. We regularly release new products, and we get them certified immediately with ISO 27000 and HGS. Public sector data now. In France, 𝐒𝐞 has become the standard, the norm. And this is excellent news for the most sensitive data and innovation in the cloud. I have to commend our politicians who had the courage to go through with 𝐒𝐞 in spite of all the lobbying. You know who I made. In Europe, every country has its own legislation and standard, but none has gone as far as 𝐒𝐞. This is why there are political discussions underway in Europe about EUCS. And the lobbies are working so that Europeans can have all the security of 𝐒𝐞 regarding public data. I don't know how this is going to end up. This is a ferocious political battle among member states. As to us, we have two products. I can tell you the 40 public cloud products are going to take on the 𝐒𝐞 certification. They're going to be available next to all the other products. In the meantime, you can use the public cloud with ISO 27000 and HGS. And when 𝐒𝐞 comes in, you'll be able to use it with this security standard. And to close, a topic I care about a lot, quantum technology. I like the sentence that says, the 20th century was the century of the atom, and the 21st century will be the century of the quantum. Personally, I believe it. And this opens up so many possibilities for us. It's hard to see how much is going to happen. But I've got news for you, bad news for you all. You're already late? Yep. In the quantum world, you're already late. And if you're working in a big corporation with more than 1 billion in sales, and you don't have a 1 billion budget on quantum technology, then you're really, really late.
Okay.
So, you're telling me, oh, that's all well and good, but quantum computers aren't really around very much. Who knows which technology is going to win? And what it's all going to cost. I don't really know how to use a quantum computer, you might tell me. But there is a silver lining, which is, of course, quantum supremacy is not here yet, but it's turning up on the horizon. I don't know, 5 or 10 years' time, but it's going to arrive. So I think we need to be mindful of that. And there won't be one single quantum computer. Quantum is built on physics, and based on the laws of physics, each quantum computer will resolve differing problems. It will know how to manage one problem, but won't know how to deal with another profile of problem, which leads me to say that I don't think there'll be one single quantum technology that will win hands down. Now, what's good about all this is that in France, we have a quantum ecosystem which is highly, highly dynamic, which means that everything, or everybody rather, that's working on a quantum computer these days, he's offering an emulation, if you will, of or simulator, like, of those companies. You can use those. We've got 5 of them. You can use them, those emulators or simulators, to transpose your problems into the works to see which one best resolves your problem. Here we have them on the screen. These 5 quantum emulators. You can also embark upon this quantum journey with the 14 startups we have in our ecosystems. Now, these startups are here for you to help you launch yourselves into this quantum journey. So I urge you to grasp this opportunity, which is just unprecedented in the world. In no other country will you see such a rich and advanced ecosystem in a technology which is really going to set the cat among the pigeons for the next few years. So basically, you've got no excuse. Yeah, we perhaps all meet up next year and see how well you've done. Anyway, let's get back to us. We don't yet produce 1 billion net sales, soon, but we've invested in the first quantum computer. Now, it's physical. You can touch it. It's a physical artifact. It's photonic. It was put together by Condella rather. And in the beginning of 2024, we're starting to step up security right across the links, if you like, the connections, the numbered connections, if you will, that we're deploying between our cloud and internet with TLS and SSL. We'll talk about that a little more in 2024. So, we're living in an amazing age, aren't we? Now, with each passing week, each passing month, just look, all this technology which is bubbling up is becoming real and is, a stone throws away, and which is really changing our lives. Everything is picking up pace. And, it's a vast opportunity for everybody. But this technology, it must be said, is a source of fear, isn't it? It frightens all those who are saying, I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I can't get my head around how to use it. I don't know what the point of it is. Now, in an ecosystem, in any ecosystem, we've got 2 challenges. The first, obviously, is to stay in the vanguard, continue to innovate. Well, that goes with the territory. But second, we need to work together, hand in glove, to democratize, if you like, to make this technology more and more available, to make it more streamlined, accessible, straightforward, and put it within the grasp of lots of people, lots of companies, so that basically everybody can enjoy this technology. And so, therefore, it shouldn't only be a source of fear. It's going to be a long and complex way forward, admittedly, but what I realize is that at each milestone, when we have our ecosystem around a table, we start working together and we start to bring the right people around the table, offering the right answers and sometimes offering the right questions, and then putting or finding the proper answer, everything is possible, I can tell you. Thanks very much.
Démocratiser.
So, make democratic this technology, bring all that in everybody's grasp. That's what I latched onto. This is what we're going to be talking about in this, in a number of areas that you've talked about. And one of these topics is dear to your heart, is health data, for example. And no doubt we'll be turning to that a little later on. Thanks very much.
Jean-Noël.
All right, Jean-Noël Barrot, he couldn't be with us. He was very busy, but he did want to give us this message. So let's listen to the Telecommunications and Digital Transition Minister. Dear members of the ecosystem, French and abroad, unfortunately I can't be with you today, but I wanted to come to you remotely about this 10th edition of the OVHcloud conference to recall to you our strong volition to support European and French digital players, innovative, competitive, that are working all together to develop a trustworthy, reliable and long-standing cloud innovation, long-standing sovereignty, ecosystem. Those are four values that have been around in OVHcloud in France and abroad for the last 25 years, and they ring true with the digital strategy that we're deploying as a government. That's true for France, but also more broadly within Europe. So let's turn our minds to innovation. Under the French 2030 investment programme, we're going to be investing more than 500 million euros to support cloud investment and to prompt investment in dynamic technology in France and in Europe. It's long-standingness since July 2022 with the PM. We've launched technological sobriety and working on the green avenues to grapple with the climate issues. We're looking at co-responsible approaches to make sure that the exponential growth of digital data doesn't have a deleterious impact on the planet. Next, sovereignty. Over the last few years, thanks to the commitment of the French finance minister, mindsets have changed, and digital is high up on the French and European political agendas. And then to finish, the ecosystem. Efforts designed to promote sovereignty and innovation mean that everybody needs to be involved. The lifeblood of that ecosystem needs to be marshaled. That starts with you as well as us. Inroads into R&D, innovation have been made, and the ability to develop and deploy IT services in sovereign, trustworthy and responsible clouds. Of course, it's not too late. We can build competitive and long-standing solutions for Europeans in cloud services, and OVHcloud has won tens of thousands of customers to that end. And in the auditorium, we have everybody who simply show that, yes, we do have a tech ecosystem which is growing continually in France and abroad. My mind goes to Gladia, for example, Lighton, Shadow, those companies, or JamesSpot, Clever Cloud, 𝐓𝑟𝑜𝑚, Tetris, Capvision, and 𝐒𝐩𝐞𝐵𝐬, Simbird, Netria, Platform.RH, Candela. I mean, that's just a handful, really, of the fabulous, trustworthy cloud operators that we see on the market. This ecosystem includes private and public players. Airbus is a case in point, Accenture, Capgemini, EDF, Lydia, the Société Générale French Bank, the Health Ministry, the Finance Ministry, or the EGM, just to name a few. Obviously, I'd like to pay tribute to OVHcloud for its success this year, where we saw fabulous growth and considerable innovative efforts, which means that it can offer 100 services, different services in public cloud, and then, of course, AI solutions available to everybody. So well done. Well done to all the company's teams, all of you who are contributing to making this ecosystem a fabulous success. So long live French Cloud, and hope to see you soon. And we can do this here and now, because, as you know, cloud is built on solid, robust cloud foundations. But what should the cloud look like? What should its characteristics be in 2023, 2024? Let's turn our minds to OVHcloud Michel Paulin, who's the CEO of OVHcloud. But first, let's look at this.
Bonjour.
Good evening. Goodness me, that's impressive to see so many faces in the auditorium. That's fabulous. Anyway, dear customers, dear partners, dear colleagues, whether you're here in Paris physically with us, or whether you're behind your screens somewhere or another, dotted around the world, you know, we are absolutely delighted to host you for the 10th edition of this summit, and, you know, a heartfelt thanks for your presence. So, tech today then, what can I say? Starting really to set our daily lives into upheavals. It's reshuffling our customary practices, our habits. We see this day in, day out. We see this because it's changing our society, our broader community, our institutions even. So this is something that we need to be watching very closely. In actual fact, today, it must be said that data has become just as important as ecology, the environment, as energy, as food, as health. And this is why, you know, it's absolutely paramount to understand the underlying, the stakes. And at the heart of this flux, what do we find written into that flux? Well, the cloud, of course. And that's where we step in to grasp these transformational challenges, as Octave has just told us. You know, we've got a number of solutions to hand, innovative solutions. But what's really important is that these solutions need to leave you free and to be master of your choices, masters of your fate. So it really is all about innovation for freedom. Different solutions, varied solutions with values that other people out there just don't offer. So today, you're 1.6 million customers to place your trust in us everywhere in the world, 140 countries to put the numbers on the table. And this confidence comes from this consistent vision we have of a cloud that is one of trust. It's secure, but it's also reversible and interoperable. It's a cloud that is long-standing, sustainable, to preserve our future. It's also a cloud that is such that you can have simple, straightforward, accessible accessible to all. So high-level performance with amazing prices. So we're talking about a cloud, therefore, that enables you to internationalize your business with a underlying support and assistance which is highly responsive and highly effective. And of course, you all make up an ecosystem, a dynamic ecosystem, which helps us flourish and grow all together. And of course, we have a cloud which is innovative. We have these words that resonate with that innovation for freedom. So let's start with trusted cloud, highly secure, but reversible and interoperable. The digital transition today offers fabulous prospects, fresh horizons, generating vast tons of data. And we can see that this data has vast economic value for companies, and the economic stakes are absolutely giddy. And we can see this as well with the arrival of artificial intelligence, that increasingly there are ethical points, strategic facets. How can we preserve your medium-term vested interests? And also for nation states as well, we see more geopolitical stakes emerging. Because I think we need to remember that this data really, who does it belong to? Well, it belongs to you and needs to remain your property. And that's why OVHcloud is offering solutions whose technical, sales and legal features guarantee the highest possible standards in terms of security, in terms of safety, in terms of transparency, in terms of total guarantee, basically, right across the whole gamut of data protection in full compliance with local laws, but also to guarantee the entire immunity to extraterritorial laws such as the Cloud Act. And increasingly, we want, thanks to these unique technical attributes, that these solutions be something that is interoperable. We want them to be reversible. A cloud shouldn't lock you in. It shouldn't block you into a corner. No, absolutely the opposite. It needs to free you up. It needs to give you an opportunity to develop your multi-cloud strategies and hybrid cloud strategies. Because today we are the sole world operator to have the whole array, the exhaustive array of European certifications. In Italy and what have you, and so many other countries. I'd like to home in on that specific point in OVHcloud. OVHcloud was one of the precursors, one of the pioneers of 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐞𝐷 compliance. We invested hugely in 2 of our data centers, where you have a vast array of solutions that are 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐞𝐷 at highly competitive prices. And today, it's our pride to offer more than 100 projects in the pipelines, that not virtual projects, but projects that are genuinely in production, with 80 customers today that benefit from 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷 infrastructure. We've got ministries in there, we've got public stakeholders, we've got software producers, publishers, we've got cybersecurity specialists. But what's of interest really is that increasingly we're seeing people from the private sphere and heavy hitters in the private sphere that are seeking to protect their intellectual property. They want to protect their sensitive data. And because of our very strong, deep-seated leadership with 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷, we've decided that we want to invest even more to put down our accelerator pedal on 4 commitments. So the first commitment is to open in a few days' time a new data center that will be 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷 certified, which will be located in the north of France in Gravelines, which means 3 such data centers in France. Second, we've got the pre-documentation dossier submitted for bare metal 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷 that will be available in the next few months. And this is just the first step, if you will, on the journey that Octave talked to us about, because we're going to be offering 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷 certification. We'll be offering 40 products that will go through data, AI, all the data centers, all these sectors will be certified 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷. And because of our experience, we'll be exporting the best 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐶𝐷 practices, which is the highest level of security in the world. And that will be spread out over all our data centers, wherever they are in the world. Now, another of our trump cards really is the fact that we are long-standing. Our solutions stand the test of time, basically, because basically we want to protect our future. We've been innovating for more than 20 years to drastically reduce our water and energy consumption, basically thanks to its water-based cooling system. And also thanks to its single-standing, unique industrial model. As you know, we design and we build our own servers. And, let's look at something topical. AI, Octave talked about that. I mean, really, this is something that hits the papers wherever you are. To talk about LLM and to have those models, you need GPUs, don't you? And today, we did a benchmark process. We took GPUs cooled by our water systems, and we compared them with air conditioning cooled systems. And the results show today that thanks to our water cooling system approach, well, our energy or electrical energy consumption is 35% less, and we have water consumption that can reach up to 20 times less to apparatus using air conditioning cooling. which basically use most, or if not everybody out there that is competing with us. So today, OVHcloud has GPUs which are the most sustainable in the market. But, we've done this. We walked the talk in September after 8 months of work with our partner, Sopra Steria. We offered a CO2 calculator, which helps us to see pretty much in real time how much water and energy we're consuming, but also it gives us an estimation of our carbon footprint, or even yours, actually, your infrastructure in the cloud and your equipment in the cloud.
It's important to see that this carbon footprint includes Scope 3 and Scope 2, Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3. Because according to ADEME, the Environment Transition Agency in France, is 80% of the carbon footprint of data centers is tied to production of servers. And we're the only ones that can give you a full view, including Scope 3, a full view of your carbon footprint. And we remain committed in the medium term. And we will keep up our commitments for the future. More than ever, we want to become 100% low-carbon energy by 2025, and we're on the right track. We're already at 91% today. Our second commitment is to be net zero on Scopes 1, 2, and 3, the most important one, by 2030. And once again, I can tell you we're on track. We will achieve it. I told you a few minutes ago, I hope I convinced you, that clearly we are the trusted cloud champion. Yes, we're also the sustainable cloud champions. A third trump card, a third strong point in our proposition is our price-performance ratio, the best in the industry, because we are very significantly cheaper than hyperscalers for similar performance. Let me give you the best example is GPUs. GPUs have a huge capex. A lot of companies wonder whether they can actually afford GPUs because it's so expensive. It's so much capex. Well, OVHcloud allows you access to GPUs. We have a full range of GPUs, L4, L40S, A100, and soon, in a few days, H100, at highly competitive prices for everyone. And they are built on demand, by the hour, without any hidden fees, without the egress fees or API call fees that most of our competitors charge. At OVHcloud, everything is predictable, it's simple, it's transparent. You don't need an AI tool to know how much you're going to pay next month. So our ambition, our aspiration is to give access to everyone to quantum technology, AI, data, to all companies, whatever your size, whatever the industry, and whatever their current expertise they have. OVHcloud is clearly the champion of the trusted cloud. We are also the sustainable cloud champion and also a simple, affordable cloud champion with pricing models that are quite simple and predictable. We are working night and day with all our employees to achieve the best price-performance ratio for all of our products. And we're not doing it alone. We're working with partners. Let me give you the example of databases. And so I'm going to invite virtually Cédric Pech, Chief Revenue Officer of MongoDB, to join me and tell us how we offer the best managed databases on the market at highly competitive prices. Cédric?
Merci de nos...
Hello, OVH community. What is of concern to MongoDB customers is a couple of things. First, development. Our audience is mostly developers. Our clients pay close attention to productivity and how databases can facilitate application development rather than hinder it. And these days, of course, we are concerned by scalability and stability, how we can modernize our apps from relational databases to MongoDB, and AI, of course. MongoDB, from the start, is based on an invention which is still at the heart of what we do, the document model that enables access to databases much more readily than traditional models invented in the 70s. The huge customer benefit is simpler architecture. For developers, they can focus on developing features, and for architects too, who can simplify their application stacks, and for the business people who can bring applications to markets faster. Collaboration with OVH is really important for us for two reasons. First, OVH is a trusted cloud for our European community. Clearly, with all the political issues at stake, having a European trusted, high-performing cloud where we can offer our MongoDB products and services is key. And secondly, OVH offers services at very good price-quality ratios. And there's also speed of service. And I'm very proud as a Frenchman that I can offer MongoDB on OVH.
Vraiment, merci.
Thank you, Cédric. We, too, are very proud of our partnership, and we are very happy to have this alliance among the best to offer the best solutions. And by the way, we're going to offer the market a new MongoDB managed on OVHcloud on December 7th. So get ready to click on the 7th of December, very soon. And our fourth strong point is our ecosystem. And thanks to our ecosystem, we can offer you services and software and technologies for all our different developers and suppliers so we can meet all your needs. And our promise for the ecosystem is your success is our success. We want to grow together. We're doing everything to help you grow with us so we can come up with solutions that are going to be great for the customers and the markets. Your success is our success. For 3 years now, OVHcloud has been developing partnership programs throughout the world. Let me mention 3 of these key programs. First, the startup program. We are fortunate to have 3,700 startups in this program around the world. It's huge. In France and in Europe, of course, in every field, every industry, Octave mentioned it, in deep tech with quantum, AI, where we have dozens of startups in Europe. Very recently, Klaba and Lighton, among others, but also in tech, fintech, green tech, and many other areas. And we achieved something great. We were able to export these programs to Asia and America, and we are very proud to have more than 300 startups in Singapore and Southeast Asia that trust OVHcloud for their solutions and their development. In the US, in just a few months, we have 27 startups that trust our infrastructure. This program gives them access to the best technology to help startups grow. Beyond vouchers, we offer webinars, tutorials, training to help companies grow. And we believe this will help us keep growing and developing the ecosystem that allows new technologies to spread. The second program is technology strategic partnerships. As you know, OVHcloud designs and develops most of its own solutions thanks to our 900 developers in many different areas of software and hardware. And for us, it is essential. It's always been in our partnership strategy to develop partnerships with the best so we can guarantee access to the best technologies, the best solutions. Some are long-standing. We've been working with Intel, AMD, Supermicro, Samsung for more than 10 years, and VMware. And we work with the best in many other areas: MongoDB, Ivan, Zerto, Veeam, Platform SHA, Tempo, Nutanix, more recently on the hybrid multi-cloud. And in the next panel discussion with AI, with Nvidia. And we have an announcement to make. We're launching a partnership with SUSE in the area of Rancher. And we'll tell you more in a moment. We are working with the best to bring you the best solutions at the best price. And this is our commitment to our technology partners. Our third partnership program I'd like to mention is the one for integrators and MSPs. This is very important. It allows us to offer services to meet all the use cases of our clients on OVHcloud. We're very proud to have a dense network of 1,350 partners around the world. We just launched it in the US. I can't mention them all. It would be impossible. And so I apologize that I can't mention them all. Let me mention just the biggest, where we have had our biggest projects: Capgemini, Accenture, CGI, CLI, Enetum, Deloitte, Bachelor in Germany. And so we have a very broad range of solutions. And the integrator segment is the fastest growing customer segment. We have the crème de la crème of integrators. Thank you. To illustrate these partnerships, please welcome 𝐒𝐩𝐞𝐿, Deputy CEO of Sopra Steria.
Bonjour Laurent.
Hello, welcome Laurent. Hey Jean-Michel. Hello everyone. We're very happy to have you with us today in this auditorium in front of all these people. It would be interesting if you could tell us about our partnership and what is the benefit for your clients. First, let me tell you, I'm very happy to be here to represent Sopra Steria at your OVHcloud Summit. You have an ambitious motto, shaping the future of the cloud. At Sopra Steria, it's even more ambitious. We say, the world is how we shape it. So you see, the world is bigger than the cloud. More seriously, Sopra Steria, as you know, is a European leader of digital services and software. It's more than 6 billion euros in sales. We're very proud to be in the top 5 of your partners in Europe. So what do we do with OVHcloud? We work around three main areas. First, cybersecurity and sovereignty. Second, eco-responsibility. Third, generative AI. So first, cybersecurity and sovereignty. This speaks to me. In addition to what I do at Sopra Steria, I'm the president of Syntec, and I was asked to deal with economic sovereignty of companies. Like Octave said earlier, this is about freedom. And at MEDEF, we consider that this is too serious a topic to leave it only in the hands of the state. Since Mr. Barrow isn't here, I can say it. So we believe companies need to take this into their own hands, and sovereignty, digital sovereignty is key. So in the field of sovereignty, around the trusted digital platform, TDP, back when we launched our alliance, like you said, you've had partners with you as well. It's been 4 years for us. With this trusted digital platform, we had great success with great clients, the Ministry of the Environment in France, among others. We got an award together recently from VMware, the World Collaboration Award, as part of the TDP. Secondly, eco-responsibility. This is part of both our DNAs. We are seen as virtuous companies in this field. A few months ago, we were proud to be listed by Le Point as the second best company after Schneider Electric in terms of CSR. You mentioned the carbon calculator that OVHcloud offers clients. We're very proud that we co-designed it with you. And thirdly, generative AI. Gen AI, of course. We have one aspiration, to give you one example of collaboration, is to make it easier for companies to understand the CSRD directive that's going to replace financial reporting. And so we use this solution, AI App Builder, developed by OVH. Thank you. Very happy to do all of this together. Recently, you acquired CS Group. Can you tell us more about that, and how is that going to be good for both of us? Yes, it's very good for both of our groups. For Sopra Steria, I've been trying to convince my founding chairman to buy CS Group for several years because I had it a while back, and I knew its potential in terms of defense, aeronautics, aerospace, and defense. So my chairman looked into it seriously, and CS Group became part of our company earlier this year. What are we going to achieve together? OVHcloud and Sopra Steria, thanks to CS Group, which is now a wholly owned subsidiary of Sopra Steria, we're going to get into the space arena. We are working on building a sovereign platform to make the space ecosystem more collaborative. Another space example, more concretely, an application called Keynote that helps you find your spot in the Antibes port thanks to real-time satellite images. This is something we operate. And then there's aerospace. Our collaboration was illustrated in the Bourget trade show through demos we did together. For example, the open source ARIX platform that allows the aerospace ecosystem to share data and services in line with Gaia specs. Lastly, Europe, the European Commission. Together, we jointly developed Simple, developed for DG Connect. This is a platform for new generation data that's going to strengthen the European ecosystem. You see in all these fields with CS, better collaboration in the space and aerospace in Europe around these three main areas: cybersecurity, sovereignty, eco-responsibility, and Gen AI.
Thanks very much, Laurent. Thank you very much for your speech. Of course, we're very proud to have our partnership with Sopra Steria. He talked about his links with the European Commission for the product Simple, which is a highly structuring project. Thanks very much for your keynote statement. Thanks very much for coming. Thank you very much, too. Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening. Yes, thank you very much, Laurent. All right, now our fifth strong point is our international presence. Today, we're the sole European operator to have such an international reach. And today, it's little known. 55% of our net sales are made outside of France, in actual fact, in the cloud business. With the second company after France, in terms of size, of course, is the United States. And we've got thousands and thousands of customers, mainly in tech. This is little known, but OVHcloud has a strong stance in American tech. And so we know full well that it's absolutely crucial to give you support wherever you are in the world. And that's why we continue with our international investments. So there are three avenues of investment. The first, as you'd expect, is to continue to have marketing and sales teams in the countries where we operate. The second is investment in data centers. Octave has brushed on this. We'll talk about this at more length, but we have an international coverage. The third point, more investment in our support services, support resources to give you support and be reactive more effectively in your infrastructure. We do this in a number of fields. The first is to have local language support systems for greater proximity. We've also made widespread what we call the professional services, met with a vast success. We launched it in the US. This helps you have appropriate tailored services at a critical point: adoption of a new system, migration, version switch. This is the type of thing we can offer, and we can do this internationally. And then we also have a significant investment in tools. And to hark back to something which is very topical, very soon, across all our websites, we will have encrusted an AI with all the data privacy guarantees and data security that we can offer as a company to respond more and more effectively to your requests. What's absolutely certain today is that with our company, you can bank on us, rely on us, wherever we are, wherever you are, 24/7. So this leads me to a conclusion. Always difficult, isn't it, to conclude? But I would like to round off by saying that all our teams, some of whom are here in this room, some coming to us remotely, but all committed, and they are driven by enthusiasm to give you alternative solutions. And you may know that I'm a fan of Bruce Springsteen. And there's a Bruce Springsteen song, which is Born to Run. It's iconic, yeah? Now it's about people who are running towards freedom. And so in our company, we run. We're born to help you. And we were born to run. And with OVHcloud, things are going to pick up speed even more. So please, fasten your seatbelts, because I can tell you, you're going to get the wind in your hair. Goodness me. If you're a Bruce Springsteen fan, you're going to have to call the boss. Anyway, Michel, thanks very much. Give him a round of applause as he leaves the stage. All right, then, in 1 or 2 moments, we'll be meeting up with Michel to delve into data centers expansion around the world, OVHcloud's expansion in France and around the world. But as you've seen, the company has a very exhaustive portfolio of products, and they'll be demonstrations made of that with our Chief Technology Officer, Thierry Souche, who will be coming just after this musical experience. Enjoy.
Bonjour.
Good evening to one and all. I'm absolutely delighted to be with you this evening. And as Michel said, we're going to be talking about our products and the products that we've launched this year. You'll see there was a certain number, but also products that we're going to be launching next year. And I can tell you there are even more because the boss wants us to put our foot down on the accelerator pedal. Right. Innovation for freedom, yeah? Innovation for freedom. They're just not fancy words. It's really the way that we design, devise, and manufacture our products, because it boils down to the fact, like everybody else, we want to have products that meet with higher levels of performance, that are increasingly less expensive and long-lasting, because, of course, green is less expensive. We want secure and safe products because, that's just unnegotiable, yeah? But, of course, we want to go beyond that. And so these are products that don't pose the slightest of problem. These are products that offer no compromise about privacy and protection of your data. So today on this stage, we're absolutely proud to share with you an array of fabulous things we put together throughout this year. And then we want to unveil what we'll be producing in 2024. So welcome into our world, the OVHcloud world. All right, now your expectations are very high. We've made announcements in our Veritech trip, didn't we? And we walked the talk. We did do what we promised we do. And now you can see right across all our various universes, our various solutions, new solutions that on a case-by-case basis are looking for more power, more use cases. But in each case, we're taking a strong commitment to pick up on your security, safety, and data protection concerns. So, we're accelerating the development of these products. Now, if you look in the finer detail, some of these innovations, let me start by the web cloud on the far left. We've reworked the product. We've done that. I mean, it's not necessarily necessary to understand, but we've got the best hosting here because with new offerings, for the same money, you've got more CPU, you've got more RAM, more database, you've got more site, if you will. You have a condensed power, and we've also got new POP, because we're going to be improving the DNS performance, particularly in Asia. And so we're offering the best of this technology on a cost web-hosted performance solution. Now with VPS as well. Now we've just been acknowledged as the best provider in Europe, and this is new, also, as well as Europe, in the US. So when we're ticking all the boxes, and this comes through in the sales figures, the limited edition VPS is there to stay henceforth. All right, let's look at bare metal now. Bare metal and private cloud. You'll see that we started renewing our server ranges. So now already we've got a round of a first generation scale servers that are available now with very precise answers to the use cases that you flagged up, particularly for companies that want more power. Well, we've got use cases, grid use cases that we hadn't thus far were used to delivering. We've got bi or dual socket servers with 256 cores per server, which picks up on any intense computation desires. We've also got BYOIP, Nutanix, that we've extended in the US, and we can see that demand is really taking off. And NXXT on VMware, a huge transformation for customers. We've also extended things. We've gone up into the various layers. Now you can host your ERP SAP on our bare metal. on VWware that's managed. And what's totally unique now, you can also do that in 𝐒𝐞 𝐊𝐞. I mean, there's nobody else that offers this, only us. So in a word, you can do pretty much anything you want with the private cloud. So let's turn our minds to the public cloud now. As you've understood, I mean, you heard Octave, you heard Michel, as you would have understood. This is where the pressure comes to bear on us to develop these products. And you've seen, you understand our OpenStack solutions for managing virtual machines and Kubernetes for managing containers. So what's new this year? What we've delivered then are bare metal instances. So it's bare metal in the public cloud world. Why? Well, because you wanted performance without the slightest compromise. We've also worked on storage from the hot side, if you will. We've got high performance object storage with very aggressive use cases with huge throughputs, all the way from that to the other end of the spectrum, the coldest, if you will. So storage on bands, legal archivizing, that's ridiculously cold. We've also got, and I can hear some people say, at last, anyway, we've brought out our layer 3 network services on the cloud. So we've got floating IP, we've got load balancers and gateways, all hand in glove and activatable through your API, through your manager. So basically, you're ticking all the boxes with public cloud, and it really means that you can secure the most mainstream usage layers. Now, what about AI? Well, here we're still making inroads. We're progressing, and you're still using the notebook solution to do exploring in your data sets with AI training as well, for training your own models. We also set up AI deploy, because it's all very well having the models, but it's even better to be able to activate them with a click of the mouse. So with AI deploy, you've got your models available as a service that can be used with a click of the mouse. All right, but it's useful to do it with your data, with your models. It's also good to open up to the ecosystem. Well, because in other ecosystems, there are also fabulous solutions to be had. So with Voxist, with Letria, and this is just the beginning, I can tell you, with Voxist and Letria, you can also consume proprietary tuned models with a click of the mouse. And as I say, we're on the threshold of all this, because AI, we're on the threshold of AI. So what about simplicity? Yes, we're trying to make your lives simple. So to that end, across the board, across all our products, we've deployed identity management. Well, it was easy to put your AD on the OVHcloud. That was straightforward. But we wanted to propagate the identities, your policies, in a granular fashion, in a homogeneous and controlled fashion across all your products. Why are we doing this? Well, because we owe simplicity to you without the slightest compromise on protection, without the slightest compromise on data privacy. Now, Michel talked to you about this, didn't he? I mean, we never work alone. With OVHcloud, we firmly believe that the ecosystem is at its strongest, at its quickest, at its most innovative when everybody gets involved. So for us, it's just quite natural and normal to work with partners to offer you the best facets of innovation and to give you the best possible support in your transformation process. So let me call one of our partners on the stage. A fabulous work has been done to accelerate our public cloud for our customers. Can I ask Miriam Berken to come on stage, CTO of OCTO Technology?
Merci.
Thanks very much for being with us, Miriam, particularly as your customers have, been with you right at the last moment, and we're worried you might not ultimately be able to come, but here you are. You did fabulous work with your teams. With your teams, you developed what you call a landing zone. So what is a landing zone? It begs the question. What do you do with it? Well, good evening, Thierry. Good evening to one and all. I'm delighted to be with you. Yes, I am Meriem. I'm CTO of OCTO Technology, part of the Accenture Group. About 8,000 of us, with 250 developers working on this very topic. And basically what we've developed, well, look, we've been in the cloud for years. Yeah, we've been providing support to our customers, and we can see the demands of a cloud. Now, when you go into the cloud, what you need is an environment that will be a foundation, which will be a foundation to host our apps that we're going to be modernizing to benefit from the cloud. So a landing zone, basically. What is it? Well, it's basically a foundation, like that for a house, which is ready to host apps in a consistent, secure way that will reflect the security concerns of companies and make things secure for segregating networks, for firewalls, concentration of logs and what have you, a whole raft of different things, including entitlements for access. So it's a foundation that is designed to host apps in a consistent fashion and which picks up on security concerns among corporations. All right, I understand. That's lovely, this landing zone concept. So, but why OVHcloud then? And that's a great question, Thierry. Here's the answer. I think there are really three main reasons. Cedric Pech talked to us earlier on, didn't he? And he talked about a European player today that is reliable and which is credible in Europe. And this is very important for us because obviously we work with French state institutions, we work with French industrial players, but also work with European institutions, particularly with the European Commission. We work with them as well. And so we work with a number of international stakeholders, and increasingly they are mindful of this matter of extraterritoriality. So, we have the 𝐒𝐬𝐞 cloud that was talked about. The minister talked about that, but you also need to think about extraterritoriality in Europe. So OVHcloud is a must for us, an important player, and maybe your question was driving at that really. So we decided to invest, and I'll give you the details about that in just a moment. But we decided to invest on the public offering of OVHcloud. We thought it was important, that strand of things, because we've seen, haven't we? When in the cloud, you want to enjoy a certain amount of managed services, a catalogue that would be richer and fatter, and certification is underway for those 40 products. Hence our choice for OVHcloud's public cloud, and to develop these accelerators that will help us to go quicker with our customers over your platform. So, in a word, these accelerators are what? What does it boil down to? Well, we've written a number of codes, some scripts. I think it's my earring that's bashing my mic. I'm sorry about that. But there's a certain number of scripts and codes that make it possible to deploy a landing zone in the twinkling of an eye with everything I talked about a moment ago. So we've got these rules that are configurable and that can tailor to a customer environment. You can configure your network, you can configure your accesses, the logs, and what have you. But that's not where it stops. I mean, the objective obviously is to go even further, particularly integrating AI capabilities and generative AI capabilities. So in our layer, or what we're offering, the ability to choose among machine learning algorithms and AI algorithms, particularly the LLMs, open source, yeah, so that we can try them out, promote them, and little by little bring them into the production line. All right, then, so we've got accelerators. You're looking at these developers. Any customer feedback yet? Yeah, we went off to see a number of customers. Of course, this is pretty fresh, even though it looks as though it's been set in motion for a while. But we went to them in the summer. The feedback was highly enthusiastic, and we're starting to deploy things with a number of these customers. As I said, the feedback is basically very good because the goal, once again, is to be able to focus on your job, on your, to concentrate on your data and the high valuated points and try and forget what's under the bonnet, in inverted commas. So the feedback is good. So we're going to develop and deploy even further and to have better and brighter feedback from our customers. So what's in the offing in the future for the landing zone? You talked about AI. Anything specific?
Yeah. First of all, we need to achieve it. If we deploy landing zones, it's to conduct application modernization. We do that quite a few customers. And with Gen AI, this is one topic, like Octave said. If you don't have it 5 times on your roadmaps, you missed out on this year. So more AI. The fact that OVHcloud is adding these things on its roadmap and that it's very concrete and being released soon, this is great for us. What we developed, we see as something that's highly iterative. We're well known in the field of agility. We're highly agile, and we will be very happy to unplug some of our developments, to plug them back on existing managed services you have. That's what we have in mind for soon. Great. Thank you very much, Miriam. Please put your hands together for Miriam. Thank you.
La puissance de l'écosystème.
The power of the ecosystem is very concrete. Satisfied customers and partners who seek out more business faster. For us, it's the key to success. Now, let's take a look at what's up next. Miriam is going to want to further enrich her developer's experience. And you heard that Michel wants to speed things up. So, of course, we've been working on 2024. You won't be surprised what we have in store. We're going to continue expanding our service portfolio with the same approach, preserving security, data privacy. We're not going to compromise on that. It's basic. It's key. There's a lot of things. We can speak about a sovereign collaboration solution. We can speak about a soft phone with more virtualization possibilities. We're going to be talking about an email open source solution with Zimbra and web solutions with full modernization of the infrastructure with a lot more power for your websites. But I can't mention it all. So let me suggest we go over a few use cases. We're not going to cover all of this. First use case, computing power. Why? Because you ask for it. Many of you ask for it. You're asking for more and more power. We are coming up with a new generation of scale service, high-grade service, and in the spring, new generation of advanced service. That's a lot of new generations. What you need to keep in mind is that you're going to have the latest CPU generations gain speed, but also a new generation of infrastructure that fully taps a new renovated network that brings you IPv4 and IPv6 with servers that can go up to 200 gigabits per second. And full resilience, no limitations. It's really a paradigm shift. We have broken through the glass ceiling, and you're all going to be interested to discover this new range of servers. It's not enough. OVH brings you the most powerful infrastructure on the market. You're used to that. So we have to do more. We have to take it to the next level. So we're going to offer it to you in a new format. Michel put his finger on it. We are going to offer this new infrastructure in the new 3AZ region around Paris. We're the only ones on the market to offer you to build your own platforms using exactly the same ingredients as us, bare metal in 3AZ with full resilience and power, the same power and resilience we have for our own platforms. This is unique. Another key example, major corporate clients that have critical applications they want to run in the cloud. They want more power, more resilience, and a fully trusted partner. We were recently acknowledged as the Cloud Partner of the Year by VMware. We are continuing to upgrade our managed VMware offering, and there's vSphere 8. We are adding Veeam 12, Veeam 12 on S3, because we want to give you all the performance and all the flexibility of these combinations. That's good, but it's not enough, because you're asking us to extend the scope in terms of certification. And like Michel said, 𝐒𝐞 Cloud is the standard in Europe and beyond. And it's the answer, the right answer to some of your issues regarding critical data. With the third data center, we're opening up next week with 𝐒𝐞 Cloud certification in France. You are getting 𝐒𝐞 Cloud RIA with all possible resilience, failover, DRP possibilities you can expect from VMware. We already launched the validation of a bare metal solution. So 𝐒𝐞 Cloud bare metal is coming in the summer. What's good about bare metal is that I can build a lot of stuff on it. And then Michel and Octave are asking us to speed things up for the public cloud. So soon you'll get these 4 services in 𝐒𝐞 Cloud mode. And so if for all that you're not happy, is that you may be thinking about the next milestone. What's that? To get it's the most sensitive data you want to keep. You don't want to give to a cloud provider. Maybe you need to bring the cloud to you and go on-prem. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to allow you to do in alpha mode to guarantee you have absolute control on where your data goes. What about the public cloud? We're going all out. There's new computing with Gen 3, new GPUs, L4, L40S, etc. 800, we mentioned them. We're bringing new storage services, file service, which we didn't have at this stage, block storage. With new performance there again, we cracked performance paradigms by disaggregating block storage. We're bringing 3AZ object storage. A lot of players asked for a strong resilience for 3AZ. So we're on a roll. And I want to draw your attention to 2 breakthroughs. First, you already heard it, local presence. Many of you have asked us to deploy our cloud closer to you in your country, even in your city. For some of you, you need latency or you want to store your data as close to home as possible. You have regulatory obligations of data residency. So we are launching local zone. Michel's going to talk about it later, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. We'll open the first 2 sites soon. 150 new sites in 3 years. You will compute that. That's 1 site per week. We're going to be keeping busy. Second breakthrough is emblematic of how we do things. We're launching a rancher offer, a managed rancher offer. Rancher is a tool used for multi-cloud Kubernetes hybrid style with local zone, for example. You can also use it to manage your own Kubernetes on-prem. That's the way you use on-cloud Kubernetes with the great simplicity of use, which allows a lot of users to take back the control of their Kubernetes deployment. Because Kubernetes is great, but if you have a lot of it, it gets complicated. So you can easily orchestrate cloud-native solutions that will run in the cloud or on-prem with the promise of reversibility and openness. The Rancher solution is designed to open up the doors of multi-cloud solutions and breaking barriers to entry. You have the same tool, the same environment. You can spread the same security policies in all your clusters. It's easy, it's transparent. You don't have to manage the plumbing below. Suzy is a natural partner for us. They publish Rancher. They're European. They're a major player in open source. It's our ecosystem DNA. We're proud to be working with Suzy to bring the best to you, the best of innovation. They've done great work on the use of Kubernetes in the multi-cloud environment, and the best price-performance ratio of the market. So the best of cloud-native technology without having to manage the plumbing. And lastly, you've always been able to store and collect data with OVHcloud. We protect the data, but you want more. You want to collect from more sources, ever more sources. You want to be able to process them and also use them, draw value from them. So we're launching Data Platform, a full solution to manage your data, to process your data from A to Z, managing the needs of every company, small or large. Data Platform is a solution you can tackle from APIs if you have developers who can use such a platform or via a low-code interface that makes it very simple to use, even for people who don't code. Why did we make this choice? Because all companies cannot afford a technical team that can handle data that way. So we want to make it as simple as possible for you to make analytics available, accessible to everyone. So you can use more than 80 connectors to use alternative sources. Once again, we're in an ecosystem. It is an open solution. It's going to be open source. So any partner can add their own solution to these connectors. And without having to understand the underlying technology, you can use a lakehouse to process petabytes of data. And then you need to be able to view the data for it to be useful. You have several choices. Either you have your own data viz solution and Data Platform is optimized to fuel your solution. We don't want to lock you up in an OVH world. We're helping you through a transition. If you haven't chosen, you will find in the Data Platform solution a viewing tool you can use. So Data Platform is the best open source technology for processing data without any of the difficulties that small companies encounter, because we want to make it accessible to all companies, even small companies, so they can go digital. When talking about data, of course, AI comes up. People say AI is great. My CEO used ChatGPT. He loves it. I hear CIOs say that. And now he wants the same thing, but I don't have the geek that can do that. And when I ask someone for help, it sounds complicated and expensive. So I don't know what to do. At OVHcloud, for AI and for data, we want to make them accessible to all companies. So, of course, there's a big roadmap. Let me mention 2 points. First, the AI endpoints. What's that? You have a lot of use cases in your company and your private life on a daily basis where you think, God, you don't need to understand everything, but you want to use AI with just a click. You don't need to know how it works, how to manage the infrastructure, what's the subtle tuning of the software. No, you just want to transcribe a meeting. You record it in text because I don't want to transcribe everything. I don't need to know how AI works. That's what AI Endpoint is about. I take the audio file, upload it, I click, and get the transcription. In just one click. And similarly, for dozens, soon hundreds of use cases. The productivity of companies is going to depend on the proper use of AI. This is a paradigm shift. You don't need a geek to use AI. I've been talking about AI for 5 minutes and I haven't mentioned LLM yet. We need to talk about LLM. Everyone's talking about LLM, even my mom. She asked me about LLM. Of course, she didn't call it LLM. She doesn't know what it is. She's 86. But LLM is a real breakthrough. And we're not about creating foundation models. We don't want to impress everyone with new technology. We want to make it accessible to all companies for all use cases. So what do you want? An LLM that understands your business context, your company jargon, your processes. Because Docker in a port is not the same as in IT. You want your data to stay under control, under strict control. You don't want it to be out there. You want it protected. Your data privacy is a strict need, and you want to do all that without having to hire a team of geeks. I'm not going to tell you how we do it. Yaniv is going to. He's going to show you how simple it is to use LLM, the OVHcloud way, in your company in a cyclical way. Well, I hope you're going to like 2024 because with Michel speeding up, it's going to be quite a year. Innovation for freedom.
Et quelle liberté vous nous...
And what freedom do you have in store for us? Thank you very much, Thierry. For this innovation review, we're traveling. We're going to go with music and creation with Mathieu, Judith, and Brez.
Tout le monde, on tape dans les mains. Tout le monde, on tape dans les plus techniques. Merci. Je vais vous présenter.
Thank you. Let me introduce someone to you. This machine records everything I say and repeats it infinitely, infinitely, infinitely.
Superposer les sons, etc. Superposer les sons, etc. Jusqu'à ce que ça devienne le bordel. Jusqu'à ce que ça devienne le bordel. Voilà, c'est mon unité.
And I superimpose it. See, that's what I do. Let's make music.
Yeah, okay, now head against the wall, I'm afraid of the fall. Watch this, hold still as I'm losing it all. This maze to your feelings got so many possibilities. Pictures in my mind and I'll be hanging with the memories. Yo, all the good old times, all the good old smiles when the things were fine. Ay, yo, now those times are gone and everything is dust. And now I'm all alone, so I act my life, not a wit, not a wit. Push me to my limit like I'm fearless. Ay, act my life, not a wit, not a wit. Now I'm staying in control, I can do this. Yeah, I just wanna raise myself, yeah, here and there. I just wanna reach your thoughts, yeah, here and there. I just wanna change my life, yeah, here and there. I bring a future to your hands, yo.
Merci.
Thanks very much.
Et merci.
Thanks very much. Brez, Beatbox, thanks. And thanks to Matthew and the visuals that we've seen. And what comes next later on as well, music-wise. Anyway, we've got Brez, Beatbox. It's a creative ecosystem. Well, let's look at the cloud ecosystem now. So, I'm going to have my next guests now. We have OVHcloud guests, and we also have guests from elsewhere.
Et je suis...
And I'm delighted to have the three of you next to me on the stage because, once again, it's, the makeup of an ecosystem here. The world leader of world calculation and LLM as well, with you, Laurent, and the world leader, Caroline, with OVH. So this is trying to meet the explosion of data, services, and generative AI's explosion. Isn't that right? That's right, yes. I'm delighted to be with you today with our partners, Lighton and Nvidia. So the watchword for today is making AI more democratic. So we need a number of things. First, we need computation power, we need data, we need skills, and we need models. So thanks to our Nvidia partners, we have got that computation power. We weave into our data centers thanks to our experts. You've got the data we host in our data centers, in our trustworthy solutions. And the models are provided by partners like Lighton, which makes it possible to develop new usages and to increasingly democratize the use of AI. All right, then. So that's right. So we have these solutions turning up. Generative AI has meant that you had to pivot. So from a hardware company, you've become a software company in a twinkling of an eye, really, because your generative AI solution turned up on the market in March last. No doubt that helped you have some sort of an opportunity to watch on the touchline, but only for a few months to see how things were going to play out. Is that right? That's right. I mean, it's amazing. In the space of a year, we've come a long way. ChatGPT's anniversary was the 30th of November, 2022. And what a birthday, what an anniversary, because, and all this HBO series and Netflix series have splashed it all about. Isn't it? That's right. I've got an on-board meeting in a couple of days. Hopefully things are going to go smoothly. I hope that's the case for you. Yeah, absolutely. No, but jokes aside, I mean, it is impressive. In the space of a year, the journey traversed, the maturity that we've gained in 12 months' time, most stakeholders, and we're lucky enough to have been embarked on this road for the last 2 years when ChatGPT 3 turned up. In fact, the ancestor of the current version. We created 12 models, among the best in the world, and now we're deploying in public services, state services, or companies. Matt, this is a secret to nobody. It's an open secret. But of course, if you're teaching anything, you have to be repetitive. So hardware needs software. So Nvidia, you're the star with the GPUs. As an international player, you supply, customers right across the planet, and this has to be in sync there with certain values and different sometimes ethical values. Is that right? Yes, that's right. That's our key point. And before answering you, I'd just like to say hello to everybody. I'm delighted to be here, and I hope that I'll bump into most of you at the cocktail later on. Now, it's true. When you think about ethical values, ethics that will govern the usage of AI. I mean, of course, that can vary from one country to the next. And clearly, the models, the large language models, the ethics and cultural subtleties are baked into that because of the data that's been used during the training phase. These subtleties, cultural subtleties in China, let's say, differ radically to what we see in Europe or in the United States. If you want to have the models, if you want tools based on AI that will, we need to create them in Europe for Europeans, in China for China, and in the US for the US. So we need models and AI in Europe for Europeans. So Caroline, right. You are customer or supplier based on who you're speaking with. You have to think about people's needs. So no doubt you think about their specifics. But how do you do that? Well, one of the ways that we try and meet those needs is our operational model, which is multi-local. We've got data centers all around the world, as you've seen, in Europe, in Asia, in America. But we've also got sales teams, support teams that operate in a proximate fashion, which means that we can be very close to our customers to understand their projects and to give them the requisite support. But also, there's a regulatory environment, which means that we're compliant with that in Europe and elsewhere in the world, be it local rules or state-imposed in finance, in administration spheres. This is true. All right, data-wise is okay, but you need to store it, don't you? Which means you need, with your generative AI, you need to offer very accurate infrastructure. So, what do we need? What do you need in terms of infrastructure? Well, we need two things primarily. We need infrastructure to do model inferences, and this require fabulous Nvidia, primarily GPUs. But the scaling is done based on the number of users we have. Are you a company which develops for internal needs, or are you a chatbot exposed to all your external consumers, which could be millions of people? So that's a scaling operation. But we work on fine-tuning the model based on the company's needs. It could be particular corpuses, usages, it could be feedback-based, human-based. And so that's a burst approach, millions possibly of GPUs in the space of weeks or months. So there's a spurts, if you will. It really depends. So that depends on the on that. But I like to talk about this a bit more. The collaboration between the three of you. Your three main players in the cloud, but also this appearing, emerging generative AI. But does this help offer solutions for generative AI? Even that ChatGPT hasn't been around for a while. It is, you must remember, it's a generic AI. It's not properly suited to highly specific needs. We need to remember that. So when companies or when governments start thinking about fabulous, very strange use cases for AI, it's highly unlikely that these AIs will be able to walk the talk with the models that are currently available. This will require the creation of specific AIs that will require significant talent pools and computation power that most companies don't have. So the ecosystem will need to drive forward AI in conjunction with states, depending on their respective needs. So generative AI also have European or French values in parallel. So when you had to transition, what told you that your solution could have pride of place on the market, particularly ethics-wise and data security-wise? Well, we want to have a variety of stakeholders really out there with lots of LLMs that we're going to adapt to each use case, and particularly what you're saying, data sovereignty, use case sovereignty, so that corporates can really set up these LLMs on their own structure, be it with OVHcloud or elsewhere for that matter. But sovereignty of the LLM needs to go to the data and not the reverse. That's the first thing. And as Nat was saying, it's absolutely right. LLMs bear values, but they need to be fine-tuned to the use cases and the data of the company, with trying to get highly specific to the needs and the diversity factor. And we think, that companies need to be multi-LLM in the future. Well, all right then, in terms of generative AI, companies can be multi-cloud, but how is OVHcloud going to enable these solutions to be deft and agile and complement each other? That's important, isn't it? Yes, that's right. We give support to our customers with our ecosystem. This round table is a case in point with technological partners, startups, integrators, and altogether we can offer support to companies in the implementation of their AI projects. We also have the ability to support our customers abroad. Many French startups are operating in the US. We're also working on predictability, transparency over price. We also have a total commitment on data protection. Our customers' data is such that we don't touch them. Our customers have full freedom to retrieve their data when they want. There's no barrier for exiting or unwinding their data out, as other competitors do. And we need to think about energy consumption, environmental friendliness, particularly with our GPUs. Our industrial model with water cooling, this means that we can temper our impact on the environment. So an ecosystem to go further. AI revolution and several AIs. That's the context for our discussion. Thanks very much. I'd also like to recommend this, if you haven't thought about your Christmas prezzies this year. Look at this, Dream Machine. It's a fabulous graphic novel. Laurent, you wrote it. It's published by Flammarion. Dream Machine, or How I Sold My Soul to AI. That's the subtitle. To that extent, yeah, absolutely. This is generative AI, and you know all about it by leafing through my book. Well, thanks very much to all of you. Please go back into the auditorium because, well, our summit continues, doesn't it? And as we said, when opening this sequence, OVHcloud is entering into major fields to pick up on customers' needs. Well, you might say, who? Well, we have health, AI and international. So let's delve into one of those fields, namely health data. So let's look at that. We'll be bringing back Octave and his guests back to the stage. But in terms of health data, let's watch this film with Jeanne Carroll, Bayer Pharmaceutical CEO.
Les données des patients.
Customer or patient data describes the real-life change of their pathologies, even beyond medical theories. It orients us to variations, subgroup of illness to subgroup of illness, response to treatment, something that we may not have picked up on in the clinical approach. We've worked on immunology data. It could be 10 years old sometimes, whereas all pathologies, particularly chronic diseases, heart disease, for example, has changed as time gone by, which means that you need to have data collection, which is in flux constantly, which is of quality, and that this data needs to be accessible. And accessible in such a way where we have patient consent and where that patient can benefit from medical research, and it can be of use to institutions that collect data. So we need to collect this data at a large scale and quickly. Generally, this goes through the clinical trials. We open up a center, we collect the data, and that's in a finite window of time. But lots of things that will have changed in oncology, in the cancer field. Starting to have one or two collaborations to retrieve data and assemble data sets for cardiometabolic pathologies, for example, but that nexus is still in the beginnings. It takes a long time, and so we need to be effective. We need to be able to work in conjunction with the hospitals, with basically big data warehouses, so people who work on architectures, clouds, systems and apparatus that help us assemble, secure and share data. Those people will be crucial for the pharmaceutical business, but also for hospitals, in such a way that this encounter is done and ultimately produces usable medical data that can be used quickly and to scale. All right then, so since we're talking about health data, Octave, you've joined me again. We've got Laurent, who is DSI of the Family Benefit National Fund. Now, among all the data. Health data is nitroglycerine, isn't it? In 2023, or almost in 2024, how would you describe this type of data? Well, in health data, you've got two profiles of data, if I can put it that way. You've got primary and secondary data. And the primary data, they're used to do this. When you go to see a doctor, when you have an appointment in a hospital, when you've got a problem, a health problem, it's the primary data that is tapped into. So you've got a whole raft of apps in the hospitals themselves, in the public forum, and they will be using the primary data to operate the treatment. And then you move into the secondary data, and in that you're going to be copying the information into big data pools, and they're called health data warehouses. So what you need to remember is that the law is relatively strict on primary data, but generally speaking, it can go in pretty much any cloud. But when we're talking about secondary data, the CNIL, the Data Protection Agency in France, is very cautious about storing everybody's health data. In France, when you look around the world, that holds really true. So this means that you need to abide by some rules for storage, and anonymizing the data, and to know what you're going to do with this data, because you don't necessarily know why you're storing this data. You know why for primary data, because you have to offer treatment. For the secondary data, well, you're going to possibly see later on in the day which data is going to be used.
En réalité,
So nitroglycerin, that's secondary health data. If I go back to my example, if I understand the definition, how you explain it. Laurent, you're a CIO. Can you find all the data in all of these groups and subgroups? How can you make the best of the data? Well, I'm a former CIO of APHP, the French hospitals. That's where we create health data. APHP is the biggest hospital center in Europe, in Paris. And we decided several years ago to have a healthcare data warehouse, first to manage our hospitals, to understand the activities, the ERs. Right now there's a bronchiolitis and pulmonary infection epidemic. This way we can plan ahead and make the right decisions. And then for research, clinical research, to create new ways of conducting research. In the past, our researchers created cohorts, stored data themselves, created data in their services. And here we collected data from the primary data. We created the health data warehouse, and we offer the data to them, all the data of all our hospitals. This way they have a much broader research field. This is primary data. Now, back to secondary data. How's that stored, and can it be used and processed, and by who? The data we have, secondary data we put in a health data warehouse in our data centers on premise by creating our own platform. We're talking about huge volumes. We have clinical data, but also imagery data. Right now, we're adding genetic data. These are large volumes. And also anatopathology. So we store it together, all together. We give it shape. We classify it for researchers to use. Let me give you one example. One of our researchers asked us to show us, to get 55,000 abdominal scans or thorax scans that were done to diagnose other ailments, and we reuse them a bit differently to see whether these patients had signs of osteoporosis for people above the age of 60. This way, we could offer prevention for fractured vertebrae and identify people with advanced osteoporosis. So how do we use images done for certain diagnostics? We can reuse them in another field. This is one example. It was published in a scientific review in 2021, a scientific journal. We did this a lot during the COVID pandemic. We took up thoracic scans to see whether we could see signs predicting patients worsening. There are 15 studies underway and productions and scientific results to be published. So we present this secondary data for researchers to use. Right, very good examples. So there's loads of data we could tap and extrapolate for prevention. We were talking about how cloud operators such as OVHcloud should offer highly secure solutions to manage this healthcare data. In terms of regulation and compliance, you have to be perfect. Yes, there's a lot at stake. We started talking with APHT about a technical partnership, not a commercial partnership. We mentioned this earlier. OVHcloud Data Platform was something we had in the pipeline. It's a general platform. And with APHP, we started working on the specifics of healthcare data storage, and some of the components developed by APHP to include it in the platform and open source it so that the entire ecosystem could use the technology. For example, anonymization developed by APHP. It took many months of development and a certification by CNIL, the French data privacy agency, that says that when you take data in this database to conduct a study, it's anonymous. If you have two studies conducted at the same time, one specific on a case, you make it anonymous, you start working on it, and you may have a couple hundred patients you're working on. And you can have another study on a similar case, perhaps led by the same staff members. It has to be just anonymous so that two people working on these two studies cannot detect the same patient. That is the same patient in both. So you see, our collaboration is to attract this value, to include it in our platform, and then open source it, and make sure all the teaching hospitals in France can use the platform. And then, of course, we're going to offer other products around that. But we invite the entire ecosystem, our competitors, our peers, to use that platform and offer the same thing or better based on that. This is our vision. We want to push technical collaboration, accelerate adoption of technologies that I believe change our perception of data and improve the lives of patients, development of drugs in the field of health. For example, last question, Laurent, this technical collaboration is important for you to use data the best way possible. Yes, we're a hospital. We're not developers, though we have an IT development team. So working with a technology partner to speed up what we need. We're in the service of patients and doctors. We want to help our researchers and patients. And there are different technology components. I talked about anonymous data. You also need traceability. Should we develop traceability components? Probably not. We should rely on partners to do that. And in the context Octave mentioned, which is highly regulated. Healthcare data is private and personal and confidential. And it's normal that the lawmakers wanted it to keep it secure. So we chose to work on premise. We're happy about that. And now we have to move forward and see how we can move faster and branch out into new fields. Right. These are things we can talk about at our next summit next year. Thank you, gentlemen, for this talk on healthcare data.
Alors, le temps tourne sur cette...
Okay, time is running, but I have a question for you. Who here has used ChatGPT or an other Gen AI app in the last 24 hours? Good. You may not know everything about generative AI, and now we welcome an expert, Emmanuel Vivier from the Hub Institute. Emmanuel Vivier knows this place very well. He feels right at home on this stage. You're a digital expert and a co-founder of the Hub Institute. You help companies better understand and anticipate today's and tomorrow's trends in terms of digital transformation. So you are an expert in AI, different types of AIs. Let's not go over what we did last week, but there was a lot of suspense. What can we say about the end of 23 and start of 24? Hello, everyone. The year is ending better than it started. About AI, which is not new, but especially Gen AI, there's been phenomenal acceleration in recent months. If you look at just ChatGPT, it's been open to the public for only 1 year, and it's incredible numbers. We went from 28 million in sales to 1.3 billion euros in 1 year, with 100 million users a month for ChatGPT. And in France, we're not missing the train. We are riding the wave, too. We have a lot of French players. Mistral, for instance, raised 115 million euros. Lighton. We have a lot of gems. Okay, we're not as big as Silicon Valley, but with the open source, we have our role to play. Right. You also lead more than 20 communities with the Hub Institute. Do companies you talk to every day realize this revolution underway? Yes, they're curious. We have given out more than 100 training sessions and keynote talks in recent months. So the knowledge is spreading. When we explain it to them, there's a new technology way that's going to impact every part of the service industry, like HR, marketing, etc. I'm not sure people understand the big step it's going to be. The productivity gain on certain tasks and certain jobs, up to 55% saved in development time for certain tasks like debugging of the code, and in marketing to create images, new generation chatbots. We saw Carrefour, Castorama, Saint-Maclou for clients or even employees. We're going to be able to become more creative. You saw the text-to-image tools. So it's bigger than we even think. We have to get organized and tooled up. There's a simple rule in the terms of Gen AI. Tell me what data you're working on. I'll tell you whether you're respecting your values. We mentioned this with Caroline and Nat and Laurent, saying that Gen AI in France and Europe are more ethical and safer, more secure. How do you defend AI made in France or made in Europe? We have a very tech-centric view and profit-centric view in the Silicon Valley. So do we, but okay, we do a lot with regulation. Let's not overdo it. These are going to be powerful tools. We need rules. We need laws. If we want European companies to use AI, they have to feel reassured about privacy and security and know where the data goes. So companies like OVH offer complementary solutions, complementary to the big leaders that got a head start. And tomorrow, we'll be talking about resilience. We'll need to make choices. It's up to every company or public entity. When they mix up the solutions used, they have to aim for resilience and responsibility by pushing players closer to home. They pay more attention to regulation. Speaking of regulation resilience, there are ethical challenges for Gen AI tools. We can talk about how we use it, like mine. I spent time on this picture of the Pope in a ski jacket before realizing it wasn't a real one. We can all get confused by Gen AI tools. How can we avoid AI manipulation? We are creating AI and the problems that come with it. The regulators try to follow. It's hard to believe what we see here are real because it can all be recreated convincingly. There are deep fakes, but every time there was a new technology wave, we find solutions. There are technical and regulatory choices to make. You have to find a compromise. Let's remain optimistic. Thank you. Clear, concise, and precise. Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
Et non, vous ne rêvez pas, on a encore beaucoup de surprises.
We have more surprises in store for you here at the OVHcloud Summit 2023. How about a demo? Yeah? Great. The Chief Product Officer, Yaniv Tida.
Bonjour.
Hello, everyone. I know there's a match, a game you want to see, so let me hurry. I'm here to talk about our AI and what we're going to launch soon along the lines of what we just talked about. Let's look at existing solutions and who they're for. First, the core of the reactor with our GPU platforms in bare metal or in public cloud instances that are great for our clients, giving message to the market environment they control. Let's talk about AI platforms. I want to share two things with you. First of all, our AI solutions that have been around for more than a year. The AI paths with AI training and notebooks. We're going to keep working on to give you more possibilities always. That's the favorite solution of data scientists that want to deploy their models while controlling inferences.
We also have the developers, and we love them at OVHcloud. Of course, we thought about them to enable them to put AI's power right into the heart of their apps, and that very straightforwardly. So welcome to our new product, AI App Builder. Now, AI App Builder is going to help you use foundation models such as Mistral or Llama, by example, to contextualize them with your private data set and then integrate them into your architectures so that you can use and enjoy LMM's power. And RAG, R-A-G, that we just mentioned a moment ago in the panel discussion. So this product will be at the heart of our brand new data platform and will help you personalize, customize models that have been pre-trained, and you'll be able to use the power of these models to build and deploy apps or optimize chatbots. So all that obviously based on generative AI. So without further ado, let's have a look at what this will look like. It'll be a demo. This demo was put together lovingly by our teams. So just imagine you're deploying your AI assistant, and it's put together in the twinkling of an eye. So this is a revolution in automation and technological integration. So here we have our data platform. We've got 4 fundamental steps. You have to select your LMM of choice. You need to upload your documents into a secure vector DB, then deploy, quite simply, your code. And your apps are ready, and then you need to discover the integration methods that are designed for maximum simplicity. So 1 to 2 minutes, 1 to 2 clicks, your assistant is fully operational. So here we have a chatbot, but you can expect a number of things: code generators, search engines. Here we have bits and bobs, and then in this demo we wanted to use Mistral. So we're going to choose the model. Here we are, look. And off we go. You can choose. You can decide to link your data sources, either with an existing database, but you could also have your docs, your 𝐒𝐤𝐞𝐵, or speech to text. I mean, the list is endless, but we've decided to use OVHcloud documents in an existing database. We move on. So then we can have fine-tuned settings, which are very important for LMN to do prompt engineering all the way through to preset answer. It gives you the highest level of accuracy in the answers, because of course these models need to be fine-tuned. But anyway, you can do that with a click, and then you can deploy. And really, it's just child's play. Really, you can immediately test in our playground how things will unfold, and then it's magic. Really, you can set things in motion. So Mistral is integrated in our vector DB, and now is a fountain of knowledge in our OVHcloud products, and soon it can be such in your companies and in your business data. So the test seems to have gone swimmingly. Now you can copy and paste this into your app, the URL, and then it's done and dusted. Bob's your uncle. So we can extend this even further. The assistant is now ready for use, and it will answer directly on our expectations. Here it's a chatbot, and then 6 clicks, the power of LLM, your data is secure, and you can put together a chatbot very straightforwardly that will use your data. And there we have it. The proof is in the pudding, as we say. All right, then, so what do we have? We have here a way of making AI democratic. So we're simplifying LLM and AI generative to the bone in 1 or 2 clicks. And, this is absolutely paramount, really, in a secured environment, an environment which shows proper respect to your data. And I would add that LLMs operate on our infrastructures with the best ratios of market durability. So we're making the AI revolution sustainable and long-lasting from an environmental perspective, which has always been, as you will have understood, a major commitment on the part of OVHcloud. Now, this is ready to go out. You've got the QR code behind me. So, don't think twice about it. You can enroll, test this fabulous product. You'll be at the heart of OVHcloud's innovation, and you can do a co-build with the community. We're expecting your feedback and banking on you. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for your attention. I hope this will have lots of ideas bubble up. Yeah, right. Bring out your smartphones. And, fabulous demonstration. Well done. Well, really, my thanks go to the teams, primarily. Thanks very much. All right, then. So this is the last chapter for our summit, I promise. And obviously, this goes to geography. A few minutes ago, Michel wanted us to delve into the finer detail of that. Well, time has come to bring him back on stage. All right, then. So after that artistic experience from Judith and Mathieu, perhaps you now can talk about this extended geographical reach, Michel. Now, we talked about a number of things, haven't we? We talked about Salesforce, we talked about support that is offered locally. But what about these data centers? What's the strategy? Well, quite clearly, we want these data centers all around the world to offer you the localities that you want. So, in a very hands-on fashion, we've extended our reach, capacity extension in our DCs as well, in Gravelines, in Roubaix, in Barnois, with our Quebec friends. But we also entered into fresh territory. Bombay in India, January 2023. We've opened up also operations in Singapore, a second region in Singapore. And we want to open up things in Toronto in February 2024 and have Sydney in March of that year, next year. And as I said, we want to see an expansion of our Gravelines site into a third DC. But we're also weaving into our strategy 3 AZ and local zones in our strategy. All right, so you're talking about these multi-AZs, availability zones. Will it involve those 3 Paris-based data centers? And why is it a model that differs or is distinctive? Yeah, that's right. The 3 data centers in the Paris basin will be involved. The idea really is to offer greater resilience and more security for our customers' workload. So to do that, we've got 3 data centers that will be about 10, 20 kilometers away from each other with electrical inputs and fiber optics that will be totally independent to make sure basically that there is total resilience, and with network apparatus that can switch from one site to the next as the needs arise. So we want to offer immediately bare metal on 3 AZ in France, in the Paris basin, and then we'll do the storage. And we want to extend all this into our 40 products in the multi-AZ. So that will be offered very, very quickly in France, but we're also going to do this in Germany, in North America, and in Asia. All right, and we're hearing from the beginning of this summit talk about the LZ, the local zones. What's all that about then? What are these LZs, and where are they going to be? Well, these local zones, these LZs, we call them local zones because they are local, as the name suggests. What does local mean then? Well, we want to be as proximate as possible to you, our customers, more local to your customers as well, and where you want to be, basically. So we've finalized the acquisition of GreenScale. This is a German company, GridScale, which is specialized in edge computing. And thanks to that M&A, we're able to make sure that we could significantly contract things to make sure that we could have smaller data centers with compute instances, storage capabilities, and we can offer you an exhaustive range of services to make sure that these local zones are as close as possible to your customers and to your sites. And we're very proud, really, to be able to deploy here and now into these local zones. So in the next few weeks, we'll be starting with 2 new local zones, one in Madrid and one in Brussels. I can see there are fans, a number of fans. Right, so we got Brussels. I don't know what we have to do with Brussels. What do we say for Brussels? There's 𝐻𝐸 for Spain, of course. But anyway, we're very proud. And we're going to have 16 other local zones that we deployed very, very swiftly before next summer, where we're going to see 8 in the US. And we're going to have some in Switzerland, some in France, in Marseille more specifically, in Italy as well. So we're going to be very swiftly offering these, but that's not where it stops, because our ambition with this GridScale acquisition with our team, we want to extend this hugely and to have 150 LZs around the world, everywhere, that will be as close as possible to your customers with latency points picked up on, and to offer the greatest possible and best workload with your customers. So, our world coverage will mean that we can offer fabulous prospects for growth for your companies. So, local zones. All right, that's what they were. All right, then. Thanks very much, Michel, for shedding light on that, for these insights. You stay with me, because we're reaching the end of our summit now. And Octave is come back on stage for our closing remarks. All right then, so gentlemen, we can't possibly stop without a heartfelt thanks for all the partners that have fed into making this event possible. That's right, I'd like to thank all the partners that have helped us to this end, to devising this 10th summit. Thanks to them, and thanks to all the teams, basically, that have made this evening possible. Hopefully you enjoyed the evening. Thanks to you as well. Big thanks to you, bearing in mind that we are fundamentally mobilized to offer innovative solutions. You would have seen 30 or so announcements that have been made today with tight deadlines, and just know that we're going to be blazing through those deadlines and hitting every one. All right then, so one deadline, which is just around the corner, but throughout this summit we've been talking about something else, Octave. Yeah, something that's going to be appearing next year. Yeah, well, thanks very much for attending our summit. I think we've given you a bit of a brownie that's quite heavy duty. It will take a while to digest that. We've made a number of announcements, what we've done this year and what we're going to be doing next year. Our teams are highly committed. Michel holds that beautifully at the helm. And me, I'm particularly interested in your feedback, really. I'm really interested to lend a ready ear to what you say. Are we going in the right direction? Is this where you want us to go? Is this where we can help you? Those are the questions that are of interest to me, because we're building these offerings for you and with you. We're building based on your needs, based on your customers. So, that's the direction we're embarking upon. You're the North Star. So, OVHcloud is here. It's thanks to you, basically. You've offered us feedback to say, look, we need this, that, and the other. So I really, I can't put enough emphasis on this. I really want to get your feedback from you and to see what you think about everything that we've said. Yeah. Anyway, thanks very much for being with us. I think we've slipped the hour quite considerably. Yeah, well, no, it doesn't matter. We haven't looked at the clock at all. All right, well, anyway, thanks very much. Thank you very much to both of you. Thank you.
Je vois qu'on a des renforts, on m'applause.
All right, so we have a round of fabulous, thunderous applaud. Now, you can either contact them at the cocktail or ring them up, or with the hashtag approach, you can feed in your feedback, particularly with the hashtag with OVHcloud Summit. We're almost there, almost there. I promised you surprises. This is the fifth element earlier on. She's going to come back on stage to prove that she is a fifth element, very much so. Thanks very much for following this OVHcloud Summit 2023. Thanks very much for those coming to us physically and also remotely. Let's meet up in just 1 or 2 moments' time.
C'est quand? C'est maintenant? Non. Il y a encore un truc? Ah, c'est maintenant.